Hey, everybody here, everybody, Greg Harrelson here, and with my, co-host Abe Safa for another episode of Myrtle Beach Real Estate TV. We sure do appreciate you all tuning in and watching, our videos, and appreciate the comments that you guys are sending our way. And please continue to do that. I know we've got some exciting things to talk about, or some interesting things to talk about today, especially on the condo market and lending. But first, Abe, I wanted to say, in the residential market, just this week, there was a builder who builds homes. I won't mention the name, but it was a known builder that builds a lot of communities in the area, had a price increase on their property of $50,000. Like a property that was at $275, they increased it to $325. Like in one day, they had a price increase of $50,000. And there's other areas where there's lot premiums. I was talking to an agent today and talking about lot premiums, where lot premiums for a specific lot, it would just be, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 because it was on a premium location, and they bumping it up $20,000, $30,000 as a lot premium. That just tells me they have a lot of confidence that they're going to get their property sold no matter what the price is. I know that we took a buyer into an on-site office, and they were looking at a property, and they were going to put 5% down. Their first-time home buyer going to put 5% down. Very qualified. They were going to put down 5%. And the next day they go back, and the builder says, or the agent representing the builder says, well, we can no longer honor that. Now we're not going to accept any deals unless the buyer has 10% down. So anybody that's going to put 5% down, we're no longer going to sell to them. Now, these things shift. They go, in and out, up and down all the time. But it's just interesting to observe the type of things that are going on in the marketplace, at least in the residential market. So I know you want to talk about some condo stuff too, but I just wanted to throw that out there and let people know what kind of market we're dealing with.
Yeah, that's not surprising, Greg. I've got a client that I've been working with on the buyer side, and he's been looking at a home in Conway, two specific communities. And I'm not going to mention them, but he was looking at a home. A month ago, they raised this. These are $200,000 homes, by the way, just to give you put it into context here. A month ago, they raised the price $8,000, and then last week again raised another $8,000. And they pretty much flat out told us, like, look, if you guys don't pull the trigger on this, we're going to have another increase in probably 2 to 3 more weeks. So basically, right now, inventory is so tight. There's no homes out there. So these builders that have the inventory or are about to build the inventory have all the leverage. But it's no different than your clients and my clients. We have sellers. I mean, we get an offer, we don't like it. My sellers just flat out rejecting it because they know there'll be another offer this week.
Yeah,
it's all leverage right now, and the sellers have all the leverage.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to keep our eyes on interest rates. Interest rates are starting to creep up, so it's not going to be devastating to the market because the demand is so high. But just understand the cost of money is increasing. And it's probably something that you and Abe and I will continue to monitor and probably report on in the next week or so. But let's talk about condos. So I know you had a very in-depth conversation with some lenders and on some different things that are going on in the area of lending on condos. What did you find?
Yeah, I did. I had a couple of conversations today. Basically, what prompted the conversation is you and I both track the numbers a good bit. We look at what's happening on the market. I'm seeing more fall throughs on the condo side than that makes me comfortable, right?
Okay.
We're still, like, when we look at the numbers, we're going to see we're still in a very hot market. The condo pendings are increasing, okay, and there's less inventory in the market. But when I start seeing fall throughs like this, I start to wonder what's going on. Okay, we're trying to look ahead. And so I talked to these lenders, and basically what I gathered is back at the end of 2020 or beginning of this year, it might have been end of December or beginning of January, there's been some guidelines changes from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So basically to put it in a nutshell, I won't go into all the detail, but basically Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are trying to limit the exposure to resort markets, specifically condos in resort markets that do short-term rentals. So they're pretty much not willing to buy those on the secondary market, which really hinders the lender's abilities to be able to loan on these condos now. So what's happening is some of these guidelines, like something as simple as they put a guideline where if your building has the word resort in the name, okay, that's going to trigger a red flag. It might not be the deciding factor, but something like that is triggering a red flag. But what I'm gathering from talking to these lenders, and now we're starting to see feel the effects of it, because if this started in January, if something went pending in January and was about to close, and now they're falling through, so now we're starting to see the effects of it. And that's why I'm really concerned about it, is basically if you have a condo that has short-term rentals, if you have a condo that has a front desk, which means a lot of the oceanfront condos, or if you have a condo that has an on-site property, a rental management company, which also is many of the oceanfront condos, it's going to be almost impossible to get a conventional loan on. Okay, so that scares me, or at least concerns me a good bit on what could happen to the condo market if there's no funding out there for people to buy, right? If we're restricted to only cash buyers, or if we're restricted to only being able to put a big down payment on and only having to do an adjustable rate mortgage, or having to pay a couple of extra points to be able to buy these, then that could really limit the number of potential buyers out there. So these are the kind of things that I'm seeing right now, and as far as lending goes for the condo market, that's causing a lot of concern.
Yeah, and I've seen this before. I've seen, and this again, things just kind of like, it's almost as if it's hard to ever find balance. It seems like we're always counterbalancing. It's like, okay, we go too far this way, and all of a sudden, oh, now there's too much risk for the bank. So the bank's going to counterbalance by saying, okay, now we're just not going to lend at all. And then after a while, they realize, wait, maybe we should lend a little bit. And they say, well, now we need to get more lending on condos. And then they go this way. And it's just constantly back and forth. And, right now, what this tells me is that that they're viewing this type of investment to be a little bit higher risk. They probably view this type of investment to have higher default ratios, to have and these assets to be a little bit more on the non-performing side. And so they want to make sure that as a government entity or whatnot, that they don't have too much risk, that that our economy it doesn't have too much risk associated with high volatile or high risk type of condos. And that's kind of what I listen, I don't know what they're really doing and what the conversations are behind the closed door, but I do think that the buyers are going to be required to put in higher down payments. And right now, with the demand that's there, they'll probably, for the next couple of months, that probably won't be much of a problem. But at some point, unless things change again, that could affect pricing. It could affect pricing because it could take away some of the buyers. And if it takes away some of the demand, then that could affect pricing. But I don't think we've seen any price changes yet. But we're just kind of sharing with people what's coming up the pipeline.
Yeah, definitely no impact as far as prices just yet. This is so early that we're picking up on. It's just something to definitely keep a close eye on. So what does that mean out there for anybody that is looking to buy a condo? Just be very careful on which lender you choose right now for your pre-qualification letter, because you don't want to go through a 2 to 3 week, 4 week process and then come to find out that lender can't lend on. So be very specific on which lender you use. I highly suggest using a local lender that actually knows the market, knows what is going on, that can actually help you through this process, because you don't want to waste your time 3-4 weeks and then have a fall through. So be very careful on the agent you choose and make sure they understand the condo market and make sure that you use the right lender to get pre-qualified. I think that's extremely important right now.
I didn't look in the MLS, Abe, in the last week or two to see how many pending properties actually fell through. But if we were to research condos, I bet you we would see dozens and dozens of condos that were under contract, but they never closed. They fell through because of these new lending specifications or rules. So we'll keep an eye on that, because if we start seeing fall throughs, then we may end up seeing the inventory go up a little bit. But we'll keep an eye on it and report. In the next week or two, we'll probably see what the real impact is.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're not seeing the impact on the inventory. Inventory is still low for both condos and homes. Like ridiculously low for homes, but low for condo.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, talking about numbers, just let's share a few numbers with us.
Okay, I actually ran a spreadsheet, Greg, this morning that I thought was pretty interesting.
Okay.
I think I want to share that real quickly with you before we dive into the numbers. Let me pop it up on the screen. Okay, so this is right now in the entire market, the whole MLS, there's 740 homes available for sale. Okay, I took out manufactured homes, which was about 140 homes. So there's 740 homes. So this breaks it down by city. Okay, because you'll see some of these cities are in North Carolina, right? So this is like our entire MLS. So some of it's in North Carolina, some of it is out in Loris, Marion. It covers all that area. But I'm gonna breeze through this real quick, and I'm just gonna show you like the grand strand is really what I wanted to look at. Conway, for instance. So this shows you Conway, and it shows you every community that there's an available home for sale, and you see how low the numbers are.
Yeah.
So and this again, let me preface, this is all resales. So Conway is only 71 homes available for sale. Average price $276,000. Okay. And then you see all these
no price points. You just did all price points.
All price points.
Okay.
A total of 71 homes in Conway. Okay. Garden City, a total of 12 homes available for sale. Okay, and it shows you where they are. There's one in Portofino, one in Woodlake Village, average 1.1 million. And a lot of these obviously are oceanfront homes. Georgetown 44. Let's see. Little River, 38 homes, average 367. Longs, 25 homes, 394. If you don't see your community on here, if you own a home in town, you don't see your community on here, it means that there's nothing in there for sale right now.
Wow.
And then you'll see it. I mean, we've got a lot. I think there's maybe 2,500 communities, and there's not 2,500 communities on this list. So a lot of communities right now do not have anything available for sale. Marion. So Murrells Inlet, 45 homes in all of Murrells Inlet, a total of 45 homes on the market. Myrtle Beach is going to be a little bit bigger, because you've got the Carolina Forest area. You've got a good bit of area covered, 248 homes total. North Myrtle Beach, 80 homes. And I've got this posted online. It's a long link. After this video, I'll actually post a link below the video here on Facebook and in YouTube. So if anybody wants to go back in later on and take a look at this, it'll be available for you. Yeah. Pawleys Island, 71. Surfside Beach, 14 homes. And that's insane.
Incredible. Yeah.
So that's total. So 740 homes total.
Yeah. And you know what? So many of those will actually be sold.
Yeah.
In the next 30 days, that list, it'd be totally different. Now, there might still be one home, but it won't be that same one home. Like that one listing that's in that community on that list, that home will sell probably in the next week. And then it'll go to zero. And then if another one comes on, it'll come on. And then a week later, that one will sell. And then another one come on. So it's not like we're not seeing any accumulation of inventory. It's one goes off, one comes on.
Absolutely. All right. So here's our normal numbers that we look at. So single family homes, we're up to 61.44% of every home on the market is under contract. So a total of 4,992, 3,067 of them are under contract. So this number, I mean, I don't know how far it's going to get, Greg. 61% to me sounds crazy, but every week it keeps going up. Resales, just under 60%, 59.91. That's the list that we just looked at, right? So that's the one we looked at is strictly resales. We didn't do new construction. So almost 60% of all resale homes are under contract, and new construction 62.78%. So that's where you see like the lenders, the builders, they've got everything. They've got all the leverage. there's no
Yeah.
homes out there.
Yeah.
Even their homes, the ones that they have are 63%. So they're running out of inventory themselves. So they're trying to squeeze as much as they can out of every single home.
Yeah. It's an incredible number.
So check out the condo market. Almost 48% of all condos are under contract. Really strong number. This is all condos across the board, oceanfront and off the ocean. So almost 48% of all condos are under contract. And again, we're not seeing any change, Greg, in the inventory. Like, we're not seeing the inventory spike. Like,
Yeah.
we,
Well, I think we're just going to have to understand, or just have to just accept that it's not going to. It's not going to spike for a little while.
Last week, that top number of 2824 was 2769. So third one, that 55 more condos hit the market. Okay, but it was 1,245 pending last week. It's 1,346 now. So 101 are pending.
Well, I tell you what, man, I love being a seller right now. As a matter of fact, I'm doing research on some of my investment properties, some of my rental homes, and I might put them. I'm looking at research this afternoon to see which properties I'm going to sell, because I'm going to sell high. That's what I'm going to do. It doesn't make any sense. I don't think the market goes up forever, but I surely don't know when it's ever going to turn. But as a personal owner of property, these numbers tell me that I have to be financially responsible, and being financially responsible is looking at my investments and seeing, hey, is this the opportunity that I've been waiting on? And then taking that opportunity. I'll see what I'm going to do, but I am researching my properties and looking at that now.
And I think that's a smart move, Greg. And I want to emphasize the word investment. So you're not selling your primary residence, right? You've got investment properties, and you think that this could be, well, it may or may not be the height. I know your personality, you're not looking to try to time the top of the market, but this is a great market to be a seller.
Yes, so it's an extreme seller's market. I don't have to, anybody, if I was to try to market time and try to predict when it's going to be at the top, it's more likely that I would miss that prediction and actually be chasing the market down than I would be able to predict when it's at the top. So like, I don't think about like market timing from the sense of, well, I'm going to wait a little bit longer. I think it's going to go up. I look at it today and say, is this a return, a respectable return? And if it is, then I'll go ahead and sell. And then if it goes up for the next month afterwards, that's fantastic. I'm happy for the next buyer. I won't look back. I'm looking at my returns, what they are.
And I think that's a smart way to do it. So the oceanfront condos, again, amazingly strong number, 33.5% of all condos under contract. 158 right now. Last week was 423. Again, only 30 units more available than there was last week. We're just not seeing that flow of inventory that we typically see this time of year. And then finally, land, almost 21%. Last week it was 20.38%. A little bit of a change. I think 4 more lots are available than there was last week, but 14 more pendings than there was last week.
Yeah, I will make a little prediction. I bet that number is going to get that percent's going to go up a little bit more. I think the next couple of weeks, a month, we're going to probably see more land selling. Land's already selling great, and property has appreciated. I just feel like it's going to spike. It's going to spike because the inventory is not there. There's no relief in sight for additional inventory to come on. I don't know what's going to have to happen. Builders are not just jumping to buying more land, because if a builder goes and finds 200 acres tomorrow, by the time they buy those 200 acres and then put all the infrastructure in, it's a good 15 months away. So like, they have to be careful too, because they don't know what the market's going to look like next year. So anything they buy today and start working on dumping money into, it doesn't hit the market until, next year. So they're being hesitant because of building costs and whatnot. And those are some things that are keeping us from just replenishing the inventory really fast. So I know a lot of people say, well, guys, see building everywhere. Yeah, it's the same building that's been going on for a while. It's not, And there are new projects that are taking place here and there, but for the most part, even the building that we see is not enough.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool, man. Yeah, that's it. Great information. Great information. So we'll continue each week to come, come to the call with more information and give you insight on what's going on in the market. Right now, the market's strong, extreme seller's market. So if Abe and I can help you in any way, here's our cell numbers. Please, give us a call, text us. And whether or not you're doing something today or not, we just want to, earn the right to be your preferred real estate agent someday in the future. Abe, thank you again, and we'll talk next week.
Enjoyed it, Greg. Thank you all for watching.
All right. Bye-bye.